The Seattle Seahawks Week 2 performance rushing the quarterback might remind you of their Week 1 performance rushing the quarterback. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Made it to Friday. We've got college games tomorrow. We've got pro games the next day. Should be fun. Should be exciting. Can't wait to see what this week has in store for us. But before we get there, we got to talk about the pass rush. We got to do pass rush Friday. And I think word's pretty much out. Everybody knows this pass rush has been really, really good through the first couple weeks of the season. And not only has it been very good, if you watch that first game, you kind of already have a pretty good idea of how things went in the second game because it was so similar. I'm going to explore that a little bit as this video goes along here. Going to examine that a little bit. But yeah, if you saw the first game, you saw the second game, to be perfectly honest. Very close. Very, very close correlation. So you guys have probably seen the stats by now. Seahawks lead the league in total pressures. Boye Mafe is second in the league in total pressures behind Aiden Hutchinson, and Leonard Williams is near the league lead in pressures for an interior. You've seen all the positive stuff, but let's look at it through this lens here. The pressure numbers from PFR, which, as you guys know, they don't hand out pressures like candy. They really want you to definitively affect the play if they're going to give you credit for a pressure on a quarterback. So when they tell you you're doing good, something is going very right. There are some sites, like, I can't remember what site it was. It might have been PFF, gave the Texans credit for like 33 pressures on 36 dropbacks against the Bears, which, okay, Caleb Williams is running for his life, but 33 of 36, you're probably being very, very generous with your formula there. PFR, not so much. So let's start with the defensive line here, where, I mean, we got to talk about this one. Because several months ago, when the Seahawks gave Leonard Williams that contract, 3 years, $63.5 million, I think. Something like that. $21 million a year, let's call it. A lot of people didn't really like it. A lot of people were not particularly happy about it. A lot of people thought it was an overpay. A lot of people thought we got put over a barrel because of the trade, putting us in that situation where we had to keep him. A lot of people thought that he was, a good player, but he was also on the wrong side of 30, and that he would start regressing to the point where he would be about, a little above average going forward for the next few years. He has been an absolute terror. 10 pressures from PFR in 2 weeks. That's Nick Bosa type production. That's TJ Watt type production. He's playing on the interior. You could have told me this was the numbers from Aaron Donald in the first 2 weeks of a season, and I would have believed you. I would have been like, yeah, that's Aaron Donald's doing a really good job. 10 pressures in 2 games. And yeah, I know New England's offensive line is a joke, but guess what? He played Denver too. Denver's offensive line should be pretty good. And he's eating no matter what. He is halfway to his projection I gave him. I gave him 20 pressures on the year because I thought there would be a little bit of slippage from last year because he got a little older. No. He doesn't know what slippage is. If this keeps up, and I know that, look, Leonard Williams is not going to have like 100 pressures this year. There's no way. But if he can get to like 40, which the way he's playing seems reasonable, that contract might be a bargain. Look what some of these other highly paid interior defensive linemen are doing. They're not doing this. The only other defensive lineman to get a pressure would be Byron Murphy. He got 1, which resulted in the sack that he, I believe, shared with Leonard Williams. So he is doing exactly what I thought he would do this year, averaging 1 pressure a game. No one else did anything. Reed, Morris barely played. Adams barely played. Hankins played a good amount, but he's not here to get pressure. So I think we know who made the sausage this week, but it's the guy who we're paying to make the sausage, so it's all good. Okay, so linebacker, once again, nothing to report. I think PFF did give the linebackers 1 or 2 pressures, but nothing from PFR. Not surprising. Um, Linebackers definitely didn't play as well as they did the previous week, but on this particular front, things remain stagnant. They'll come. They're being blitzed. They're being sent. They're getting close. The pressures will come. The sacks will come. The numbers will come. But nothing this week. Edge rushers. Boye Mafe living in the backfield once again. 5 QB pressures on Jacoby Brissett, including the sack. By the way, he had an opportunity at a couple other nice plays in the backfield, tackle for loss, and probably another sack. Needs to finish these plays. It's the thing I talk about with Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy struggled to finish plays in college, and Boye Mafe right now is struggling to finish plays for the Seahawks in 2024. He could have like 5 sacks this year very easily. He just needs to finish the play. It'll come. The pressures are nice. He's got 9 pressures through 2 games. 9 pressures through 2 games. I think that most Seahawks fans kind of know what Boye Mafe will be. I feel like there's an understanding that Boye Mafe is going to be a star edge rusher, but he's not going to be a superstar. He's kind of playing like a superstar right now, or at least he's showing superstar gears. So if he can figure out how to finish these plays, he might not be that far off from being one of the truly elite edge rushers in this league, which I love the guy coming out of college. Even I didn't think he would ever get there, but he's making progress to that right now. So 5 pressures, 9 total. Derek Hall adds 2. I think he already has more QB pressures this year than last year. So really good. Not his best game, although it should be noted that both Boye Mafe and Derek Hall are making a lot of plays against the run. And you take a look at how much they're making plays against the run compared to other edge players, it's a big asset. So I do want to shout that out. Both those guys are holding their own against the run. I know New England kind of ran all over us, but I think that had more to do with some of the guys on the interior than the guys on the edge. So Derek Hall has averaged 3 pressures a game over the first 2 games of the year, and he's been pretty good against the run. So we are getting mileage out of that guy. Draymond Jones got his first pressure of the season. PFR gave him 1. I'm not sure exactly what play that it was, but welcome to the scoreboard, Mr. Draymond Jones. Gibson didn't get credit for anything, although he did play fairly well. Cornerback, we did have 1 cornerback pressure, and it came from Reek Woolen on the double cornerback blitz, where unfortunately nobody could finish the play, but you can see the fun stuff that McDonald's willing to throw out there. You can see the goofy stuff that he's doing that is hard to predict and hard to see coming and hard to do anything to stop. So when Reek Woolen's getting sent on the blitz, anybody can get sent on the blitz. That's not a guy who I expect this team to be blitzing all that often, but you can do it every now and then. Almost worked. He got very close to his first career sack. I think first career sack. So Reek Woolen, I mean, you want to get involved in the blitz party? Be my guest. 100%. And nothing from the safety. So that's actually it for the week. 16 total pressures. 16. Building on the success from week 1. And the thing is, Jacoby Brissett dropped back to pass significantly fewer times than Bo Nix, right? Bo Nix dropped back to pass significantly more because he had to try to come back at the end of that game. Brissett was handing the ball off for most of this game, and New England was either ahead, tied, or down by a few points pretty much the whole game. So he never really had to do anything over the top trying to get back in the game because New England was in the game the whole way. So yes, it's a much worse offensive line, but it's also a much more impressive performance, even though the number only went up 1. So now we're at 31 on the season. Phenomenal pace. Things are great. And yeah, that's it for Pass Rush Friday. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys later. Things are cooking right now. We'll see if they can keep it up against a pretty weak Miami front, but more on that tomorrow. Go Hawks.